buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yes. We're rocking and rolling, man. Literally and figuratively. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Metalheads Unite podcast. It is Friday, February 9th, 2024 in the United States. You know, it might be February 10th where you are. We don't know yet, but we've got a lot of friends and fans across the pond over in Europe and all places abroad. We know it's damn near, Sunday in Australia at this point. Our friends at Hidden Intent are over there. So yeah, welcome everybody to the show. We hope everyone's having a great evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is, wherever you guys are. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
Looks like we're good everywhere now. So. Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, we are back in the saddle, I guess.
Yes, we are.
Want to shout out to everybody at the Pantera show tonight. So
that's right.
Everybody here locally is pretty much out there. So.
Yeah. Pantera's tearing it up there at Bridgestone Arena right now as we speak. As if you're watching this live anyway, you know, they're kicking so much ass. I know they are. I know our buddy Dana's at the show, so he won't be joining us in the chat as he normally does, but he was posting a couple of live video clips, from Nashville before I came in here. So I watched a few of them. So, and even over his phone that he's holding up, they still sounded pretty good from what I could tell. So,
I seen them back in September. It was an outdoor show, but it was still pretty fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
So I think they'll come out there being pretty impressed. So. All right. Well, I guess we will kick this thing off like we normally do with a few birthday shout outs here.
Hell yeah.
From the 3rd through the 9th. I didn't, it wasn't as many this week, but definitely some big names in here.
So. Yep. There were some names, that's for damn sure.
February 3rd, we had Richie Kotzen, guitarist and vocalist for Poison, Mr. Big, and the Winery Dogs. February 4th, we had Mr. Alice Cooper, of course, vocalist for Alice Cooper and the Hollywood Vampires. And we had Noodles, guitarist for the Offspring. February 5th, we had Nigel Tufnell, guitarist for Spinal Tap. And then Tommy Skiat, guitarist from Tesla, 84 to 06. And then we had Duff McKagan, bassist for Guns N' Roses. February 6th, we had Edwin Punky Meadows, guitarist for Angel. And then we had Axl Rose, vocalist for Guns N' Roses love this week.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had February 7th, we had Mark St. John, guitarist for Kiss from April to November of 84, probably the shortest tenure with Kiss.
I was going to say, that's like just a blip on the radar, really.
And then, of course, passed away in 2007. We had David Bryan, keyboardist for Bon Jovi. And then we had Sully Erna, vocalist and rhythm guitarist for Godsmack, and Wes Borland, guitarist for Limp Bizkit. And then February 8th, we had Dave Farrell, bassist for Linkin Park, and Vince Neil, vocalist for Motley Crue. So. And then last but not least, we had today, February 9th, we had only one I've seen on so far was Jimmy the Rev Sullivan, drummer and songwriter for Bit Sevenfold, and unfortunately passed away in 2009. So that's all that I had. I don't know if you've seen any that I didn't.
Nope, sure didn't.
Birthday. It was nice. I want to give a shout out to. Actually, today is my nephew Wyatt's birthday. He's pretty much been a third child since he was.
Yeah, no shit. He really has.
He is 8 today. So shout out
to him. Yeah, good for Wyatt. Good for him.
Birthday to all those we listed, and of course, as always, if I missed anybody, I apologize. And if anybody out there listening has had a birthday, happy birthday to you as well. So.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to everybody out there.
I guess we kick in. Kick into some metal news of the week.
Metal news of the week. Yes. All right, we start off with some bad tidings, which always sucks, but it happens. So over at the PRP.com, and this wasn't the only outlet that had this story, of course, as you can imagine. Ex Famous Last Words drummer Craig Simons has passed away. Vocalist JT Tallis, who fronts the post hardcore slash metalcore outfit, commented of the passing of his late bandmate on February 4th. Quote, this was before I read this. Before I read this, at the end of the show last week, this was obviously last Friday the 2nd, I saw I saw I saw this after the show, so definitely wanted to bring it up. We're not the Grammys. We don't want to forget about a passing. So,
Right.
even though technically, the passing was on February 2nd, which was in time for last week's show, it wasn't until after the show that this came across the news outlets. So we're gonna cover it because it deserves to be covered. So here we go. JT Tallis, quote, I didn't want to write this because writing this out makes it that much more real, but here we go. The morning of February 2nd, the world lost a very special person, a talented musician, a caring and loving friend, and someone so many considered a brother. If you knew Craig, you knew someone whose quirks were that of genuine joy, love, opinionated honesty, and absolute punk rock authenticity. Someone who could make a room erupt with laughter. Insert the Craig Simons laugh here if you know, you know. Someone who loved his friends and family as hard as he'd hit his drums. I can confidently say that Craig has touched thousands of people's lives across the world, whether they met him in person or not. Craig had so many friends, so many brothers and sisters, and made so many incredible memories with us that just simply wouldn't be the same without him. Some of those memories were at shows, some of them were at restaurants, some of them were at parties, small gatherings, walks, long drives, late night talks about life, and many more. Didn't really matter where. What mattered was the incredible spirit he brought with him wherever he went and aggressively shared with us, whether we liked it or not. I will always remember Craig as the loving, talented, and completely goofy person that he was. The memories we made over 15 years, the music we played, the laughs we couldn't escape, and the bond that was both deep and difficult at times. What I'd really love to do is to remember all of those times with anyone reading this, knowing how many lives he touched and memories he made. I'd love the comment section here to be an open and safe space to share your favorite memories with Craig, to tell your favorite stories with him, and to keep his spirit alive. So please share your stories, your pictures, videos, art, song links, and anything that makes you think of him and your time together with him. Craig was my drummer, my best friend, and forever my brother. I love you and know you have found some peace. Never give up. End quote. So always, yeah, always there. Oh, and there is. I don't know how old he was. I even did a little bit more research today if I could find out how old he was when he died. Couldn't find that out. Still don't know any cause of death. So anything of that nature comes across, we'll pass it on. But our thoughts to the friends, family, and bandmates.
Always sucks to start out like that, but we usually do more of that than we don't. So unfortunately, but that's
Yep.
so is life, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out before I get started here to about Ashes Rain. I hope caught those guys on our show, or Vinny. Actually, not the guys, but Vinny was here. So Vinny Carrion from Ashes Rain was on the show. He's actually been on it twice. And just wanted to give a shout out. They do have a new website up, ashesrain.com. You can go over there and check that out. Check out what they got going on. They actually have a contest going on now too, so you can go over and sign up for that as well. So just wanted to throw that out there while I was
Yeah, the funny thing is, I changed my backdrop and I actually put the shirt up on the wall, and that was even before the news came out on their website. So
oh, yeah.
it just so happened I actually put the new shirt on the wall. So it changed the backdrop up a little bit. So
Hey, my first story here is from Metal Sucks. Man, rock and metal cruises have been having a rough go of it lately. I mean, you had the extremely unfortunate circumstances that took place on last year's Headbangers boat, and now you've got what happened with Shiprock on yesterday. I'm not sure when the story. I think it's Tuesday is when this happened. So, According to a report by Cruise Hive, the cruise ship currently hosting this year's Shiprock Cruise Festival suffered some damage while docking in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Though the ship wasn't supposed to be at the port for another day, the cruise arrived a day early due to a severe weather pattern moving through the area. And while the decision to dock kept attendees from being tossed and thrown about the ship during bad weather, it didn't save the ship from damage, as strong winds and swelling water caused it to eventually make contact with the pier. Carnival Cruises told Cruise Hive in a statement that everyone on board and ashore at the time of the incident was safe despite the damage done to the ship. Quote, Carnival Magic was involved in the incident while in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, on Tuesday morning, February 6th, when strong winds and swells caused the pier fender to collapse under pressure, and the ship made contact with the pier. The ship was alongside at 8:10 a.m. And the incident occurred at 11 a.m. There were no injuries, and all the ship services remained operational. With those on shore left to be taken care of by the company's care team and local partners, the ship left the dock since weather conditions made it unsafe to remain there. Guests left on shore were eventually brought back onto the ship later that evening, but the ship was forced to stay in Ocho Rios overnight. Because of that delay, the cruise's planned visits to Grand Cayman was canceled. Thankfully, no one was injured as a result of the incident, though they were for sure mildly inconvenienced. Here's hoping the rest of the cruise will go smoothly since they are due to return to Florida this Saturday. So hopefully,
Yeah, let's hope.
hopefully all is well. They can get back. But yeah, that's kind of crazy that you would. I think the crazy part is it got damaged docking. It wasn't even like because it was out in the sea or nothing. It was kind of
Right.
just and it's kind of like I look at it as kind of like a driving thing. It's like it's something you do every time you drive you're driving or captain of a ship or whatever they call that. But you're at the helm, I guess. But but
Mm-hmm.
but anytime you're at the helm doing that, it's just like driving a car, and like they've probably done as much as we've drove. So I mean,
Yeah.
for them to hit something like that pretty wild. And, we got a lot more stuff we can hit on the road. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just by the law of averages, you're going to bounce off a car at some point. So, but good,
I guess
good to hear that everybody's okay.
I
So,
guess it could have been worse. So
right. Yeah, they could have gotten caught out there in the open ocean, and they could have freaking turned over, or God knows what else. So yeah.
the ocean's a bit unforgiving. So
Oh yeah, water doesn't play, man. You can't. Water literally does what it wants, and you can't stop it. All right. Heading on over to blabbermouth.net. Phil Demmel has announced that he will play his final concert with Violence this coming Saturday, February 11th, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The gig will mark the last show of Violence's Latin American tour with Exhorter, the 56-year-old guitarist who co-founded the acclaimed San Francisco Bay Area thrash metal outfit in 1985, addressed his future with the resurrected group in a video message he shared to his social media on Monday, February 5th. Just hours after it was revealed that Demmel is one of the musicians in Kerry King's solo project, Phil told his 55,000 Instagram followers, as transcribed by blabbermouth.net, quote, I am announcing that this Sunday will be my last show with Violence. The timing is weird, I know, and it doesn't really coincide with the Kerry thing, he clarified. It's not that, oh, that got announced, so now I'm quitting this, stopping this, whatever you want to call it, retiring from whatever. It's been, I guess, in the works for a bit. My status has been undefined for a while. I'm kind of doing things that I felt comfortable or fell into my schedule or whatever. But given just the latest state of the band and where I feel I belong with it or feel tied to it, I just think that my time is at an end. I'll always identify with the band. Me and Perry started this band in high school. It's cool to be going places that we haven't been. I'm feeling that Sean is. We've gone far on different pages. I guess we've always been on different pages, but I don't feel like I fit with what the objective of this is anymore. And in light of some current events, I felt compelled to make the break. End quote. Phil went on to say that he, quote, thought about maybe doing a home show with Violence as a way of saying goodbye, but ultimately concluded that I don't feel like I need that. I feel like playing those comeback shows in Oakland in April of 2019 with Perry and Dean and Ray and having those 2 magical days and doing some other stuff that we've done, writing the 5 songs, doing the EP, I feel fulfilled. and anything further kind of feels forced. Actually, before this tour, I honestly didn't want to come, but I was committed to it. I wasn't going to back out. I'm committed to the dudes, but I think I'm done. I think that I've done what I wanted to do with this band. Demel added June 1st, 1985 to February, what will be 11th, 2024, 39, almost 40 years. So never say never again. Try not to say that. Sometimes you do. It's been life defining. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor being Phil from Violence. So there you go. Moving on. Moving on. So, and like he alluded to in the story, he is the guitar player for Kerry King's new solo project. We can probably talk about the new single here in a little bit. I guess we can kind of give it. Did you listen to it? Did you
Yeah,
listen to Idle Hands? Okay, we can we'll talk about it a little more when we get to like the album reviews. We'll touch on it. But
yeah,
so
we can
so
play it. You want to? Shit.
oh yeah, we can do that. But so Phil's not gonna be lacking for work. Obviously, playing with
Oh,
Kerry King, but even if he didn't have that going on, Phil is way too talented of a guitar player to be out of work for long. So
all right. Well, this kind of will segue into this story then, I guess. So this is from Metal Sucks as well. Today has been a whirlwind of travel tattoos and comically large wallet chains as former Slayer guitarist Kerry King finally shares details about his solo effort with the new album and its first single now out in the wild. People have been combing through Rolling Stone's exclusive interview with King to get all the good stuff, the interpersonal drama between himself and the other former members of Slayer. And if that's what you were looking for, then you won't be disappointed. The drama knows no bounds. During the aforementioned Rolling Stone interview, King's conversation with Corey Grove um, naturally veered off into Slayer land. As a founding member of the band, King's been through it all and known the other members extremely well. And while he says he's remained in touch with almost everyone, he revealed that he hasn't heard so much as a peep from frontman Tom Araya. Uh, he quoted, "Not even a text, not even an email. I've talked to everybody else from the band on the phone, text, or email. If Tom hit me up, I'd probably respond. It probably depends on what he hit me up for, but I don't wish him dead at the moment or anything." End quote. According to King, things with him and Araya were never really on the same page, joking that if he would say the sky was blue, the former frontman would be a contrarian and say it's white. The two just never saw eye to eye. Well, while that may be the case, King said he'd happily share a tequila shot with him before parting ways, stating that he doesn't see them hanging out anytime soon because we were very different. We are very different people. That excuse me, yeah, tickled me. That's not what he would say about ex-Slayer drummer Dave Lombardo, though. King deeply dislikes that guy, noting that he really fell out with him during the financial disputes uh, that resulted in Lombardo leaving the band. Quote, he went on a tirade when we were on a flight in Australia and he knew he couldn't retort for 14 hours and he threw me under the bus. I was the only one keeping him in the band. Tom wanted him out before that, and Jeff had just gotten the spider bite, causing him to contract a flesh eating bacteria, forcing him off the road. So he wasn't playing with us much. I said, we don't need Dave. The fans won't get it if we replace him right now. And then the Australia thing came up and he threw me under the bus. And I'm like, I'm the guy that kept you here. So I thought, fuck that guy. End quote. As for a potential Slayer reunion, King didn't sound hopeful that that was going to happen anytime soon. And yeah, I don't know when asked if he and Araya would ever make another album. He had this to say, quote, I can pretty much 100% say no because I have a new outlet and it's not Slayer. It sounds like Slayer. I'm making the music I like to make still, and so I don't need to do that. Records don't sell anymore anyway, so it's just a means to have a product out so people know what I'm playing when I come to town. Will Slayer tour again? I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Could Slayer play a show again? I'm sure there's a scenario. Am I looking for it? No, but I'm just getting ready to start my career. So if that happens, it happens. But I'm going to be doing this for at least the next 10 years. So, so he's pretty determined he's going to be doing the Kerry King thing for a while. So,
yeah.
and also seen like some comments on there, and it kind of made me think is like, you know, they were actually taking up for Dave Lombardo, which I don't know the story with that. I mean, we're only hearing one side of it here, so
Hmm.
you don't hear Dave's side, so it's kind of, it is what it is. But
Right.
yeah, I've heard some people say yes. It didn't seem like Dave Lombardo was finding any trouble getting jobs though. So that must does that tells you anything? Then so, like, I mean, you got a point there. I mean, nobody was beating down Kerry King's door to come play with him. So I mean,
That's true.
so, oh well, it's
Yeah.
just the way it bounces, I guess. But yeah, Dave was what in Testament, and he had a couple other things going on too. So I mean,
Yeah.
he was definitely staying busy. So who
Yeah.
knows?
Oh, he's got plenty going on.
Yeah.
He always seems to. Alrighty, staying over at blabbermouth.net for this next one. Longtime hardcore superstar drummer Magnus Ade Andreasen has announced his departure from the band. The news of Ade's exit from the Swedish rock act was first revealed on hardcore superstar's social media channels on February 6th. The group wrote in a statement, quote, "Hey everyone, we are sorry to announce that Ade has decided to leave Hardcore Superstar to pursue new challenges. The last 25 years have been an absolute whirlwind for us all as we have traveled the world as brothers, writing, recording, playing shows, and sharing countless adventures and good times. We are so proud of everything we have achieved together, and we will miss his energy, creativity, unparalleled musicianship, and huge personality, but as the song says, the show must go on. We will take our time to find the right person to fill the huge shoes that Ade is leaving behind, but in the meantime, Johan Riven will continue to hold down the drum duties for all of our upcoming shows, including both the Monsters of Rock cruise and our Swedish dates. Our passion and drive for creating new music remains at an all-time high, and we can't wait to see you all on tour. On a personal note, we just want to say thank you to Ade. We love and support you and wish you the very best in everything that you do." End quote. Ade also issued a separate statement on his social media, which he wrote, quote, "To everyone, my main focus for the last 25 years has been to write songs, rehearse, record, tour like a maniac, and push the band I'm in forward. This is a goal we all shared, and I'm proud of everything we've achieved. It's been an unbelievable journey with a lot of ups and very few downs. Every dream I've had as a musician has been fulfilled. One of many things I'm proud of is that we never did it for fame or money, staying true to ourselves and writing our type of songs as was always our main priority. I remember that our old record company told us to write songs more in the style of The Hives. Big mistake. While I love that band, you simply do not tell us something like that. It's almost a guarantee that we will do the opposite. As a result, our manager went shopping for a new record deal, but without any luck. Instead, everyone asked him if we were for real. Eventually, our longtime manager, Magnus Lundback, founded his own label, and we released our Black album there. I'm also proud of how we used to push and torture ourselves just to become a good live act. We used to play the whole set as a warm up in the dressing room before our show, and we continued to do so for many years. That's how determined we were, and I think that we ended up being a solid live act because of that eye of the tiger mentality. However, I've now taken the hard decision to step out of my comfort zone and leave the band because I need to challenge myself again. It's both scary and exciting to break away from that safe place I've had for so long. I will always support the guys, and I love them like brothers. They are really good people. I still love to write songs, practice, and study music, and I love to wake up, grab a cup of coffee, and go out to my studio and create something from scratch. It's in my DNA, and I will continue to do so. I'm up for anything. Just be a drummer in band, maybe? Love you all, but first and foremost, Yoke, Martin, Vic, and Thomas. Hardcore Superstar is a rock band from Gothenburg, Sweden, with heavy sleaze influences. The band was formed in 1997 and has released 12 albums to date. So, the more things change, the more they stay the same, I guess.
Pretty extensive catalog. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, my next one is over from Blabbermouth. Speaking of the birthday boy Alice Cooper, you can't keep a rock and roll legend off the airways. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Alice Cooper is relaunching his long-running radio show on Monday, February 5th, which was this past Monday, with a new name and a new syndication partner. Alice's Addict will now be syndicated via Super Radio. Cooper will be working with the same creative team from his long-running and much-loved Nights with Alice Cooper radio show, and the new program will feature a curated mix of classic and some obscure rock, with an occasional future classic song, plus Cooper stories and commentary about the music and artists he features. New shows will air for 5 hours Monday through Thursday, with reconfigured shows on weekends. Local radio stations throughout the U.S. and Australia are already airing the show, with additional stations there, as well as in Canada and the UK expected to sign on shortly. Alice says, quote, "To all my Insane Radio Minions. I'm back, and if you thought 20 years of nights with Alice Cooper was weird, just wait till you get into Alice's attic. I uh, about think about who or what could be lurking in all those dusty old boxes. We've got the same team behind the new show, so you'll find the show very familiar. But we are all looking forward to getting a little more creative with introducing new elements to keep things from getting stale. Speaking of stale, what is that smell? End quote. So, well, last August, it was announced that Nights with Alice Cooper was coming to an end. The final weekday show was delivered on September 8th, 2023. Nights with Alice Cooper debuted in January of 2004 on 93.3 KDKB Phoenix before moving to Sister Classic Rock 100.7 KSLX following KDKB's 2014 flip to alternative. Among the other stations carrying the show were KGGO in Des Moines, WMMQ Lansing, KOZZ Reno, WEZX Scranton, and KLPX Tucson, in addition to stations in Australia and the United Kingdom. United Nations EVP programming Andy Denemark confirmed the end of the show to Radio Plus Television Business Report. The decision to end the popular program was reportedly linked to the sale of United Stations. United Nations. Yeah, well, they're probably for sale too. I'm just
They
saying.
probably are.
Sale of United Stations Radio Network to um, 8, Gemini 8, with new management planning to take the programming in a different direction. A source told Radio Plus TV Business Report at the time that Cooper was not retiring or quitting radio, and that decision to end the show was forced by a change in direction by the management of the United Stations Radio Network. So, anyway, Alice has always been wanting to bounce back from things, so that's not
Oh,
really
good.
a surprise that he just did things under a different name and a different station. So.
Mm-hmm. And the good thing is his show's not on Fridays.
That's right. Yeah. So no competition. So
Right. Yeah. Not that, not that he wouldn't blow us out of the water anyway. That's, I mean, for Alice Cooper.
oh
For
yeah.
Insert Wayne and Garth. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Jesus.
My millions and his millions and millions against our tens of fans probably would have
Right. Yeah.
won.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving over to metalsucks.net for my last two. Months after releasing a single aimed at combating deforestation, nature-focused supergroup Savage Lands announced that they successfully saved a chunk of rainforest in Costa Rica from getting cut down, and they paid for the land by using money generated by their debut single, The Last Howl. More than 90% of a 60,000 square foot piece of rainforest located along the Costa Rican coastline was purchased by the band that's also formed as a U.S. 501c3 nonprofit. The easement they bought was slated to be destroyed. Savage Land consists of Megadeth drummer Dirk Verburen, Black Bomb A vocalist Poon, Black Bomb A bassist Etienne Treton, and guitarist activist Sylvain Demercastel. The nonprofit organization plans to release songs, raise funds off those songs, and solicit donations in order to give back to nature. You can check out their video now for The Last Howl, a tribute to Howler Monkeys featuring Andreas Kisser of Sepultura and John Tardy of Obituary. Demercastel said the band's mission is a personal one, having lived in Costa Rica for a while now. Quote, hearing the chainsaw on a daily basis because of a decent real estate fever destroying Costa Rica's ecosystem, we thought it was time to start a new type of action. We are reaching out to this great active community of metalheads. When Dirk first received the instrumental demo, he immediately had John Tardy in his mind for some vocals. He made the link between the Howler Monkey's scream and the more melodic chorus of the song. Less than 24 hours after reaching out to John through a common friend, we received a yes from Tardy and knew it was going to be the start of a great adventure. End quote. In addition to the folk in addition to the folks on the single, they have also worked with bands like High Lung, Gojira, Testament, and Lord of the Lost. They also have an active partnership with Season of Mist. Bear Buren isn't the only guy in metal looking to save Central and South American rainforests. Last year, Lamb of God from and Randy Blythe explained how he's been working to purchase land in Ecuador to protect as much rainforest as possible from deforestation. And I seem to remember us talking about that story when it first posted. So it's
Plus,
on
Gojira is doing the Amazon.
yeah, yes, they are. On one hand, it's good that these guys are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, it sucks that they have to do it.
Right.
Because I don't know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here as some sort of tree hugger, but at the same time, we have to realize that if that rainforest goes away, life on the entire planet is fucked.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take.
yeah. That's a pretty big percentage of what the oxygen that
Yes.
puts off, and
Yes.
that's definitely definitely would not be good if that
No.
all
No.
disappeared into nothing. So
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what it's going to take. I
hell, I
mean,
wish they would do something like that here, in the states where we could, some man, land or whatever, whoever owns the farmland will just come together and say, hey, I'm looking for 100 investors to, invest in my place, so it doesn't ever goes to, some place wanting to build houses and shit, something like
yeah.
that. I would be down to do that. I would invest in something like that.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, if I had the money, I would like to do that too. Because I mean, even just using around here locally as an example. I mean, it's just insane the amount. It just if there's grass, they're like, plow it up. Let's put houses on it. So I mean, it's just like
well, my thing is like, especially here, is where these people working.
I don't know.
They ain't doing it here because we're not building nothing but houses. So I mean, we're not building manufacturers,
Not really.
manufacturing,
Not enough.
factories or nothing. That's like
Not enough to accommodate the influx of people
no,
based on the amount of houses and apartments they're building. No.
it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. So
And
good. Good for them.
I honestly hope half of it sits there empty.
I kind of do too.
I'm not about greed, man. It's like
No, it's just
when you look at something, like if you go across the street and you see houses or townhouses or whatever, and it's new, which is a prime example of what we're talking about.
mhm.
It, and they probably got, you know, I think somewhere along 60 vacancies or something in this place. Why you're going to build another 100 unit across the street?
Mhm. Well, it's like those.
That developer don't own that side of land, but
Right. Well, it's like that neighborhood that they're putting in across from the school up the street from you. Those are $500,000 to $700,000 houses that they're putting up.
well, hell, look at the room there. You ain't gonna be able to put like five there.
I
There ain't
know.
that much room there. So I mean, why even
So
bother with that?
I
It's
I
just,
don't I don't know. It's
you
just
know, but really the thing that pisses me off with that is that's moving the wildlife out of there, and that's
I
what
know.
there's a nursing home right on the other side of that, and those old people feed those deer and birds and stuff. They feed them. That's their pastime. So
Yeah,
now,
it's something. Yeah, it's something that helps them kind of. Yeah.
that's like you're taking stuff away from but who gives a shit about them?
Right. Well,
They're old.
who gives a
Give a shit about the animals and
right? It's yeah, the animals and the elderly. Who gives a shit? We gotta have brand new houses and
I hope
everything else.
a deer totals your fucking car out. So.
Well, hell, with as many deer as I've seen on that road over the years since I've lived here, it'll happen.
Yeah. Those deer are smart though. I've actually seen one at the end of the road and just look at me, go just drive by. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I mean, shit. When I was working down Oakland Parkway, down there at the printing facility, I worked there for over 13 years. I probably had maybe a dozen run out in front of me over the years, and I don't know. There were a couple of times where it's like I don't know how the hell I didn't hit one. So I mean,
What if you seen there was like a video I seen and it said you got hit by how many deer, and I think it was in up north somewhere, and it was elk, and this guy, like, they were crossing and he stopped because he seen it coming, but then they just jumped on his car. Like there's one hit him in the side, jumped on his trunk, jumped on his they were on him. I'm like, damn, like they really hit him. It was
right? Yeah.
like insurance would never believe that shit.
Well, thankfully it was on film. Somebody got
Yeah, the person behind
somebody
him had
got
a dash cam, so it was like,
yeah,
he stopped because that guy was stopping, so he stopped. And then,
yeah. Thankfully somebody got it.
yeah, he was seeing all that. And I said, yeah, if they wasn't video, nobody would ever believe that shit. So,
Yeah.
all right, my last one is over from Loudwire. Sebastian Bach is sitting on boxes of previously unheard of Skid Row material during an appearance on Talking Rock with Meltdown, and the singer detailed some of the recordings in his possession. Quote, I have unreleased 24-track reel to reel tapes from Electric Ladyland Studios of songs that we recorded and never put out, Bach explained. and the only copy of them is in my archives. End quote. The rocker further noted that his collection included extensive recordings from Skid Row's '92 Slave of the Grind tour. Quote, we recorded every show of Slave of the Grind tour from the soundboard on digital audio tape. Bach revealed nobody had a digital audio tape player except me, and nobody wanted these tapes except me. And now I have the whole tour on digital audio tape. I have a box of all those DAT tapes that are just sitting there. Well, Sebastian Bach wants to release the unheard material, but there's a problem. Bach admitted he'd like to get this archival material released, specifically noting the possibility of box sets. He quote said, "I would like to someday do the whole box set treatment for the first Skid Row record and Slave to the Grind and even Subhuman Race." The singer noted. However, the likelihood of such a release seems faint due to the band's ongoing feud with their former frontman. Don't hold your breath, Bach quipped. Bach's because everybody's mad and angry about whatever happened in '96. Whenever they want to get over that, give me a call because I'm the guy who has the archives. End quote. Probably not smart to be mad at the guy that has the archives that could put money in your pockets, I guess. Bach was fired from Skid Row in '96. Tensions have been strained within the group for some time, and an argument over an offer to open for Kiss ultimately became the final straw. In recent years, Bach has expressed his interest in reuniting with Skid Row for some shows. However, the feeling has not been replicated. Even if they never tour together again, Bach is hopeful the musicians can set aside their differences to get the unheard material released. Quote, if anybody wants the Skid Row archives, including Skid Row, Bach suggested he's just waiting for a call. I mean, I could go over and put all that on YouTube this afternoon and if I felt like it, but I just sit around waiting, collecting dust on a box, waiting someday maybe we'll put this out. So, I mean, he's got a point. Yeah, you can do
Mm-hmm.
that. Then you're probably looking at even more feuds because you released it on YouTube, and that's what's funny about it is they're not contacting him about wanting to release it to make something off of it. But if he released it without them knowing, they would raise hell.
Oh
And
yeah,
I guarantee they would. Which Sebastian's pretty much said that he's admitted to his faults in the past. I mean, he said he wasn't an easy person to get along with back in those days, and I'm sure nobody was. I mean, you're looking at an era where it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, that was the era. I mean,
yeah.
so and you got all that combo together, and I mean, you've seen stories, you've seen the Motley Crue Dirt movie. I mean,
Oh
you've seen kind of what it does to bands. I mean, so it is what it is, and like I said, he's obviously willing to move forward and bury the hatchet and do something good with the music that they did. So,
I just have a I just have a hard time believing that whatever happened between those guys. And obviously we weren't there, we don't know.
right.
But I have a hard time believing that personally I have a hard time believing that I could hold a grudge for damn near 30 years against somebody. I
Yeah.
mean, never say never, but I mean, to not even because I don't even know if they've even gotten in like a room and even talked and even like got across from each other at a table and just even said fuck you to each other. I mean, I don't even know the last time they even saw each other because every once in a while you'll see something, from Sebastian Bach talking about it. Then you'll see something from Rachel Bolan talking about it. And they're like, and Rachel Bolan is basically fuck that guy.
Right.
And, Sebastian Bach is at least I'm willing to talk. But I mean, so to me, it seems like the bitterness is still on Skid Row's end of
Yeah.
things as
Right.
opposed to Sebastian Bach's kind of end of things. I will say this. Sebastian should probably when he talks about getting back together and mending fences, he should probably talk about mending fences just to mend the friendship. In the story you read, he's like, I'm willing to put everything aside to get this out and make some money. It's not exactly how you really want to approach
Yeah.
that. That being your motive to mending fences. So I don't know. Maybe he needs to approach it a different way. It's like, hey, we should bury the hatchet just to be friends again, and then do one thing.
Well, I
Get
mean, I
get
think,
get back to talking first, and then kind of figure out if or when you want to release some material or box sets and all this other stuff. So
Well, I think that was his point. I think he's just like, I want to release this stuff, but I can't because they're still holding a grudge from '96, and so
Yeah.
it's like he can't. I don't think he can really do anything without you know
Right. He's
them.
damned if he does. Yeah. Yeah. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, like you said. Yeah.
It seems like he's trying to do the right thing to keep from getting sued if he did release it. So I mean, it's
Oh, he
yeah,
absolutely is.
yeah. And we know that with the the nature of the feud, if it's been going on that long, then for sure they probably would pull the trigger on that too. So
Oh, it doesn't. It sounds like it wouldn't take much to set them off for any sort of litigation.
the thing with it is like no secret, being in professional wrestling is a lot different because you're dealing, in a band, you're dealing with the same 4 or 5 people, whatever's in the band. With wrestling, you're going from town to town and you're seeing different people and things, way more things happen there. And let me tell you, I've had what we call heat, is kind
Hmm.
of what we call it. And I've had heat with guys, and but I'm not going to sit here 30 years and still, piss on their name and talk shit about them because I'm bigger than that. I don't really care. I mean,
And
that's
and
it's
life's way too short.
well, the thing is one, it's in the past. Second, I'm not
Right.
interested anymore, so I don't give a fuck. But it's just like,
Yeah.
if I see the guy on the street, would I fucking acknowledge him? I don't know. Maybe, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But I would I stop and talk to him like he's fucking my neighbor? Probably not. I mean, that's. I mean, it's a whole different ball game when you're taking. I mean, it's two different businesses. Don't get me wrong, but it's a whole different ball. I'm just trying to put that out there. I don't see how you've been with that same 5 people for that long, and you can't get over something for 30 years. But I deal with one guy, one night, and I don't want to work with a guy again
Hmm.
for the rest of my career, and I'm I'm over it. So I mean, like it's it's like I don't get that, but
Yeah.
anyway, I guess it's more of a relationship thing though, because you're like I said, you're in and day out with these same 5 guys, so it's you share a lot of, you know, probably share a lot of stuff you probably shouldn't be sharing, but
Well, especially back then, like you said. Yeah, probably.
anyway, hopefully they do something like that. It'd be pretty cool to see what they have that never got released. I mean, that would be pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
it would.
Yeah, and me and you both, I think, replicated our feelings about Skid Row in that era. I think they were one of the hardest glam metal bands of
They
that kind
were. I think they were.
of category that came out. So I mean,
I think so. I mean, especially on those first two albums.
oh yeah, I still think they would probably still be going if didn't. They'd still be putting out quality music if it wasn't for all that shit. So.
I think they could have been. All right, my last one is still over at Metal Sucks. Fans of killer crossover thrash outfit Municipal Waste know that, banned for their blistering riffs, hefty rhythms, and the commanding vocals of one Mr. Tony Foresta, sorry. Fans also know that if there's one thing Municipal Waste adhere to, it's the art of partying. To that end, the bands used their copious knowledge of sudsy brews to work with the New York's King County Brewers Collective to make a new beer that's bound to send shockwaves through your brain pan. Fashioned with eye-catching art from their latest record, Electrified Brain, which was really good, the new Municipal Waste beer is a West Coast-style IPA that clocked in at a respectable 7.2% ABV. Recently, drummer and son of insanely cool mom Dave Whitty took the trip up to KCBC to see how the beer is made and get some time with the people behind its creation. Quote, going to the brewery, hanging with the KCBC gang, and helping brew the beer a bit was a lot of fun. I'm a real beer nut, and I do love IPA, but wanted it to be a nice marriage of West and East Coast styles. Basically, a traditional hoppy West Coast IPA with a little juiciness of the East Coast style is what I suggested. KCBC makes great beer, so I had no doubt they'd be able to kill it. Housed in a 16-ounce can and adorned with the beautiful art James Bausema did for us for Electrified Brain. It's a striking beer all around. I can't wait for people to taste the waste, end quote. This ain't the first time a band's gone to KCBC to get their own beer made. Back in 2022, Revocation's own Dave Davidson showed up to the brewery uh, to try their beer Nether Hells, released in anticipation of their insanely killer album Nether Heaven. At the moment, the beer is now available to order in 35 of the country's 50 states via halftime beverage through select dates on Municipal Waste's upcoming Brain Squeeze tour. Will also have the beer on hand. You can get a 16-ounce can for $6.99, a 4-pack for $26.49, or a case for $144.49.
Jesus
So grab
Christ.
yours now before your next thrash metal rager. Oh, and speaking of, the tour is going to kick off next week, so be sure to check the dates below and get your tickets. Municipal Waste will be touring with Ghoul, Necrot, and Dead Heat, so you don't want to miss that shit. So there you go.
Mhm. So, before I get into the rest of the headlines, I don't know if you've seen this, but I seen where Ozzy posted something that he,
I was
Kanye,
I was
Kanye,
going to ask you about that.
yeah, Kanye West had asked permission to sample a section of a 1983 live performance of War Pigs from the U.S. festival without vocals, and was refused permission to do so because he is an
Anti
anti
Anti-Semite.
Semite. There you go, and has caused untold heartache to many. He went ahead and used the sample anyway. At his album listening party last night. I want no association with this man, says Ozzy. So, uh, probably potential lawsuit coming
Yeah,
from
good.
that, and probably
Good.
right. So, I mean,
Hell yeah.
you don't get permission, just move on. I mean, there's other things you could use, samples from. I mean, of course, you know, Kanye's, out there anything. Anyway, so
Yeah.
seems like Jay-Z's following in his footsteps from the Grammys, but uh,
Well, no.
but yeah,
But
that's why
yeah, I
we're metalheads, and we're supposed to be the crazy ones.
right. Well, that's the thing is Kanye West is a different kind of crazy. Kanye West is a dangerous kind of crazy.
No, that's true. Yeah,
But yeah, I did see that. I figured we would talk about it, but yeah, Ozzy, get him.
yeah, that's well. I don't think Ozzy's gonna have to worry about it much. Sharon's probably gonna be the one to get him. So,
Oh, she's probably already on top of it.
uh, yeah. But also, I did since we were talking about Skid Row, I did forget Rachel Boland's birthday today, so
Oh
oh,
shit, yeah, there you go.
I forgot about that. So I posted it on the group page just so I wouldn't forget
That's
it, and I forgot it. So evidently that system does not work. So
well, it's not a foolproof plan. So I mean,
usually it is. I usually go through that before I cement stuff, but I was trying to listen to something different before the show, so I was
oh, I gotcha. Okay.
trying to get two album reviews in, but it didn't happen. So,
Ah, well.
anyway, uh, other headlines. Bruce Dickinson's new album, The Mandrake Project, will be the first time he's ever played guitar on record, so that may be interesting.
I'll be damned.
Frank Bello says Anthrax will be heavier than ever on their upcoming record.
Yes, please.
Yes. Bon Jovi talks about his vocal troubles, saying, "If I can't be great, then I'm out." So,
Then you probably should be out because, especially with what we've heard lately.
yeah. And then Higher Power signs to Nuclear Blast. So congrats to that band. Hopefully, here's something new from them. So,
Hmm.
never heard of them, so I'll definitely check them out since maybe that'll ring a bell when I do see it. So,
Right.
Cannibal Corpse tap Japanese horror flicks with their vengeful invasion video. So I have not watched this yet, but I want to bad now. So uh, fans of Five Finger Death Punch are going to have to wait to revise, or going to want to have revise. God damn it, again. So Five Finger Death Punch fans are going to want to revise their release calendars since the digital deluxe edition of Afterlife has been pushed back to April the 5th. So 2 more months. I don't
I'll
know
be
what
damned.
it didn't really say. Like I was looking into it to see if it said why or anything, but it didn't. It didn't give them no reason or anything. It just they got pushed back. I was like, well, they had already released an unreleased song though, so that's kind
That
of
is
weird.
strange. I don't
Did
know.
that and did not release the. That's strange. Uh,
Mm.
and the Callous Dial Boys announced via social media earlier today that they were unable to perform during a show in Warsaw, Poland. According to the band's statement, an accident happened during the show in Berlin, where guitarist Matty Caffrey took the headstock of Jackie Buckaloo's bass straight to the dome during the band's set. So anyone with past head trauma will tell you the sort of injury that sort of injury bleeds like a motherfucker. So I bet she looked gnarly as hell. So,
Yeah.
so, man, that's pretty rough, man. Especially getting probably swinging it too or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like what happened. So
Yeah.
a little bit too close. Wow.
Well,
Do it.
well. I hope there's no long term effects, but hey, that's a road story now. So
Right, yeah. But I think actually, yeah, I think I did see where they were back. So back on the on track with the tour. So that's
Okay,
good.
well that's good.
Dream Theater is in the studio. Mike Portnoy is showing off his drum kit from the studio. So that's new Dream Theater music coming soon, I guess. And just because Mark Asaguada is singing for Kerry King, there is still a Death Angel album on the way. So yes,
Oh yeah.
he's not leaving Death Angel. He's just
No.
not pulling double duty right now. So.
Yeah.
And there's really no. I mean, Kerry King could be like, "Hey, we're just going to do this one album, then I'm going to move on to different musicians." I mean, you don't know. I mean,
Could be.
it's not a set in stone type thing. So,
Yeah.
especially with the success of Death Angel, you wouldn't expect him to leave Death Angel to go with something like new to Kerry King.
Right.
Those guys get along great, as far as I can see. I mean, I've seen them at the bar and stuff together after the show. So,
Hmm.
ACDC is teasing something, probably tour dates for
It,
most of
it's
it.
got it. It's got to be.
And so, which would be cool. I've never seen ACDC, so I'd like to see them before they hang it up too. So,
I would too, but God only knows how much those tickets would be.
well, man, everything's super stupid right now. So, Pantera played their first show of 2024 and played Floods for the first time since 2001. So
That's nuts.
we have to ask Dana and them if they got some Floods on their
Yeah.
set list tonight. So,
Yeah.
Metallica won a Grammy and only Rob Trujillo showed up. So I think the word out to the rest of the band was Jethro Tull was on the nominee ballot, so they just didn't bother. So,
Maybe.
I had to do that. So.
Yeah. It's obligatory at this point.
Yeah. White Snake, Zebra, Vixen, ex Megadeth, and Slaughter members perform at the 2024 Ronnie Motros Remembered show, and I also think our buddy Martin Motnick was there as well. So,
I think he was.
you're right. I think he was. Yeah. And Hansi Kirsch says Blind Guardian will start with real songwriting for their next studio album to come out in 2025. So we have to wait a little bit longer for that one. But they
Well,
already
hell,
already starting talks for 2025.
yeah.
Like, dang.
Well, and hell, speaking of Martin Motnick, we're going to get new Accept this year.
Yeah, pretty soon actually. So.
What Humanoid? That's the name of the album, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
You got the album cover and the name of it out. So
And I think, if I also remember correctly, I think the first single is coming out on the 28th.
I think so. And I
On
think
the
this is
28th, yeah.
I think something around the end of March for the
Yeah.
release or something like that. Or,
I thought it was like maybe like the first week of April.
yeah, I
let
can't
me
remember.
let,
I just
let me see if it's been posted yet. It might
okay.
be.
Hammerfall is recording vocals for their next studio album.
That's probably going to be good.
Phil Labonte says new All That Remains single to arrive by April. Next album to be released probably in June. So All That Remains this year. So.
And if we thought we were going to get off light, boy, were we mistaken.
Right? Yeah. Oh man, just as soon as I seen all the people posting stuff at the end of last year, I'm just like, man, 2024 is going to be super insane.
Yeah.
We might have to like go to the top 50 albums this year. I don't
know. Nah.
Disturbed's Dan Donegan says it would be a great honor to finally win a Grammy Award. I mean, would it though?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it still would be, but I can understand. I can understand why you would feel that way. But I mean,
Who nominates and like who votes on the Grammys though?
I have no idea.
I mean, is it colleagues? Is it? I mean, it definitely isn't the fans. I mean, obviously, so, I mean, no fan in their right mind would say Jethro Tull was a better metal band than Metallica because Jethro Tull was a metal band. So
yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure how that's done. To be,
I mean, it's different. Like I know in like one of the which one is it? The movie, one of the movies. Is it Oscars or Academy? I don't remember. One of those where the actual colleagues vote on the best actor, best. But I mean, the nominations don't come in like that, but the votes come from colleagues saying, "Oh yeah, I'd rather they deserve it, or whatever." But
yeah. And the new Accept comes out on April 26th. It is posted on heavy. It is posted on Heavy Music HQ.
It's gonna be great. Atrophy announces their first album in 34 years.
I know. I saw that.
34 years called Asylum. That's crazy. Uh, Sammy Hagar is rolling out his Red Rocker Lager in California. So more. Hey, if anybody knows their alcohol, it's Sammy Hagar. I guess
Fucking
so.
for real.
He's made and sold more than I probably drink. So
Oh, I
Rob,
guarantee it.
Rob Halford on the metal community says we look at each other and we embrace each other because we love heavy metal. I mean, you know what? I don't think anybody can say that better than that right there. That's perfect for the metal community because
Yep.
it's exactly what it is. I mean, without that, it would be gone. I mean, we wouldn't be here talking about it. Metallica's Lars Ulrich accepts the Rock Tour of the Year award honor at 2024 Polestar Awards. Maybe that's why he wasn't there. He was receiving an award somewhere else.
I don't think it was the same night, but yeah, probably. That would have been funny as if it would have been the same night, and yeah, that would have been funnier.
And then James Hetfield received an award at the Nickelodeon and got slimed. Oh no, that's
Did he or did he?
no.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say shit. That's cool as hell.
In all seriousness, Stephen Pearcy is pretty much done reaching out to members of classic rap lineup about a reunion. So that's probably never going to happen because nobody has ever responded.
Well, you can only beat a dead horse for so long, I guess.
And Dana Strum says there is crazy interest in an upcoming Slaughter film. Oh, that's kind of crazy. There's crazy interest in it. That's even wilder at this point. I don't. You figure a lot of the younger generation, but I don't know who Slaughter is. So.
Yeah, probably true. But
I guess Slaughter to Prevail.
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably. Or just slaughter the martyr or whatever. But
Slaughter.
That's Machine Head. But anyway, but I mean, hey, give Drew Fortier a call. He'll produce a good one for you.
Yeah, he'll hook you up, man. He's doing some stuff now. Actually,
he will. He'll do a good one. Yeah, the Lucid. They're actually about to play their first live show.
Yeah. Congrats to them, man.
That'd
be cool.
Overdue, I'd say.
Oh well, yeah, way overdue. I mean, Dave Ellison's been tied up doing 20 damn projects, so he's just and I mean Drew's been doing some film work too. So I mean, it's probably just a scheduling conflict.
Right. Yeah, David Ellison's had his hands full for a while.
Yeah.
Did you hands full?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hands full of something. But I bet his hands wasn't fuller than Vince McMahon's. That's all I'm saying. So.
Good Lord. Of course, WWE's like Vince who? We don't even know who that is.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, McMahon. Never heard that name before in my life.
This is an Indian company. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, any idea what you're talking about? Brock Lesnar. Who the fuck's he? So, I mean,
he's about to get erased from everything. Looks like so.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, just
fortunate. So, you might as well kill his family. Shit.
Well,
that's not really joking. That's fucking serious. I mean, it's almost like it's equal punishment to do one of the over the other with WWE's officially. It's that's two totally different things. And plus, Brock Lesnar hasn't been convicted of anything, so that's the thing. They're kind of like, just because his name got brought up in something, I mean, he's still got a right to defend himself. If he did, then fine. I jerk the curtain on that. Hey, to me, if that happens, then the undefeated streak never happened. Roman Reigns did that, so my opinion. If they pull everything he ever done, I mean, that's one of the things he did. So never happened. So I mean, it wouldn't be surprised they pull the matches like that because I know one of the pay-per-views they said that the Benoit match isn't even on there now. So you go to try to watch it, it's not even.
I think it was, if I remember right, I think it may have been the WrestleMania where he won his championship.
Yeah,
and that's huge for them to do that.
Yeah, which is crazy because
huge.
It's crazy because they said they show the celebration with him and Eddie at the end though, but they didn't show the match where he won.
See that makes zero sense. Doesn't make any sense.
I have not watched it, so I don't know. But
I'll have
that's
to. I'll have to. I'll have
yeah.
to go
Well,
back and check it out.
yeah, I may do that too. Just to I'll have. I might do that on Sunday because I'm not watching the Super Bowl, so I ain't watching that bullshit. So
Yeah.
the winner's already been awarded. I'm pretty sure. So
There are definitely theories out there.
anyway, that will be all for headlines this week. Unless you had anything to add, there was a long list of headlines. Actually, there was a lot of stuff that went on that it wasn't really stories. I was just like, that's why
Yeah,
I had a hard time finding stories because
I,
I was like,
I
it's not really a story.
yeah, I did too. I'll admit I kind of reached for a couple, but
Mhm.
the only other thing I want to mention, and I think you had actually shared it to the group, is that Toby England is coming back as the guitarist for Sabaton. So that's actually pretty huge for them. So that was kind of surprising to hear that he's coming back. But I mean, that's awesome. So.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, the only other thing I wanted to mention was
So,
we was the Ozzy and Kanye thing, so we already talked about that. So
at
that
least at
was
least he's familiar with their work.
yeah, no shit. Yeah, and not going to be any really kind of growing pains or grace period or anything
Right.
like that. Do we want to try to play that new Kerry King song?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's see.
Yeah. Don't know if any of you guys out there have listened to Idle Hands yet. So hopefully, if you have, you enjoyed it. I don't know what you thought about it, Jason, but I thought it actually turned out pretty well. So
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Man, let me
Which
get
that's but that's the thing though is I mean Kerry got some quality guys to come play. You know, Phil Demo, Mark Osageda. So I mean
yeah. So it's definitely
Paul Bostaff. So I mean he went out and got some some quality guys. And like you
yeah,
said, I mean guys he knows.
yeah.
Guys he knows, guys he trusts. So I mean put together a little bit of a post Slayer super group. So I mean there's definitely nothing wrong with that.
Kind of, yeah. We got it there. Let me, maximize it. Is that better?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Let me know if we have any issues or anything. So, because I did Windows down here, so I don't know if anything got kicked or moved or what. So,
Oh yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
far so good with this thing, but you know how this part works for us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But we'll see. As long as you can hear it, I guess that's all.
So far so good.
You can hear it.
Begins my revolution. Violence spreads my retribution. It's a great retaliate. I can't believe what I see with my own eyes. Can't accept the truth of all the lies. Ideology is at the core. Deceiver, I'll believe in your face. I don't need anymore. When do I get in line to question all divine? So many rules to bend till the end idle hands. Do the devil's work. Hatred is my ammunition, amplified by my ambition. Here I stand in pure defiance, fighting back your God-reliant skies. Deviance is always on the rise, welcoming the harbinger of war. Deceiver, I'll believe in your face. I don't need anymore. When do I get in line to question all divine? So many rules to bend till the end idle hands. Do the devil's work. Testify that all God's hatred satisfies, that nothing's sacred, anarchy or blasphemy, devour Christianity once more. Your faith I don't need anymore. When do I get life to question all divine? So many rules to bend till the end fatal ends. To the devil's world.
Pretty badass.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard.
Hey,
I'm so
Dana from
excited to
StreamYard. We're
announce
using
that
you right
local
now.
recordings are now.
I must say that's weird. That was weird.
It's like they know, and they know. Yeah, that's pretty badass, dude. Like if it has any indication what the album's gonna be like, it's gonna be pretty badass.
Yeah.
Who's drumming for them again?
Paul Bostaff, I think.
Oh, damn. Okay. So,
As far as I know.
Damn. So you're looking at pretty extensive careers molded into. You're right. It's like a super group. So,
yeah, like a super group. Yeah. But it definitely. If you would have told me that was Slayer, I would have probably believed you for a little bit.
Oh well, yeah.
At least until I would have been like, wait, that's Mark from fucking Death Angel.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still, but still, musically, yeah, that's there's a lot of Slayer in there, as you would expect. Because Carrie even said, I didn't want to fucking stop playing. I didn't want to stop. So.
So so you got two members of Slayer, Death Angel, and
Machine Head, Violence. Yeah.
You got and me and you both love Phil. So
yeah,
was great. So
yeah.
So I wonder what happened with, I guess, with the Pantera tour going on, and Selma was kind of out with the original thing that Kerry was wanting to do, because I think Kerry reached out to Phil and Selma in the beginning. I think when we started.
He was considering him. He said he was considering him, and I can't exactly remember why. He said that he didn't.
I think this works better.
I think so.
No disrespect to Phil and Selma at all. I just think what they're doing musically fits, Mark's vocals better.
I do too. I really do.
Yeah, because Mark plays fast and loud just like that. So it's kind of not saying Pantera. No, Pantera is a whole different. It's like, I guess, like the best way to put this, like, because I always say this when people ask me about the best metal bands of that era. You had your Metallicas and your Megadeths and all them, and you could kind of group those guys together. And you had Pantera over here. Pantera was by themselves because Pantera just did things differently. They had a whole different sound, and that's what made them who they are.
Well, and at the same time, Pantera didn't make it until they were halfway into their career anyway. That's like we've always said. There's Pantera and there's Pantera 2.0.
Yeah.
And Pantera 2.0 is what everybody, by and large, just speaking in general terms, is the Pantera that everybody knows. Even though Phil Anselmo was the lead singer for that last glam metal Pantera.
Right. Yeah, because even if you look up their albums, it starts at Cowboys from Hell everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see power metal anywhere.
No, you don't.
See the previous stuff anywhere. So,
which I still think is a shame. Because because Vinny Diamond Rex, they were all there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
they should do a thing on Spotify like they do with like they kind of do with Forearm. There's two different forearms, but it's the same groove. So it's kind of confusing. I don't know if there was like some issues with the way they did the name or something. I don't know, but they could definitely do a Pantera that way. Pantera, with Management Lane, the singer
with Terry Glaze.
Terry Glaze, yeah. With Terry Glaze, then you can have Anselmo's.
But see that's a funny thing though. Is I mean,
I think people will still listen to that because I mean, there's still people that listen to a lot of the glam rock on there. So
right. Well, then I don't really think you necessarily need to like split it up into two different channels because I mean, you know, because even though Terry Glaze was the original singer, you still had three-fourths of the band, and you know Phil came along, and then it became Pantera, quote unquote. But at the same time, you shouldn't break it up because it's not two iterations of the same band. Because I mean, if you're gonna do that, then you're gonna break Megadeth up into the Marty Freeman era, and then the Chris Broderick era, and then the Gar Samuelson era. So I mean,
uh,
bands there are like even Metallica has not had the same fucking lineup the whole time. I mean, Lars and James, they created the band, and so it's been,
yeah,
obviously, but no band stays together. Of course, again, I'm speaking in general terms, so don't, if your guys are listening out there, they'll be like, oh, this band's been, in generally speaking, bands just don't have, especially with a band like Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden, you can talk on, Judas Priest, you're talking bands who have been together 3, 4, 5 decades at this point. Bands like that with that longevity they just don't have the same goddamn lineup the entire time. The Scorpions are into their sixth decade technically.
yeah, yeah.
They've been together for more than 50 years. They're into their sixth decade, and even they haven't had the same lineup the whole time. It just doesn't happen. So
Well, I'm just saying if there was like a licensing or some reason why
that
they're that's
that
what I'm
could be.
saying. Like if there's something that's keeping them from putting that on, say Spotify or Pandora or something, then you could split it up,
That's a good point.
and be like, okay, this is Terry Glaze era Pantera, and this is Phil Anselmo era Pantera.
Yeah.
When you click it and look it up, you can obviously tell from the pictures because you're going to see the glam, long hair, glam, the old school Panteras.
Yeah. Well, I tell you one thing: if they were to split it up into the two eras, I know damn well that debut Pantera power metal album cover better be the thumbnail because everyone needs to see how gloriously awful that album cover was.
Oh man.
It was so bad it's good. One of those kind of
To,
deals.
to be honest, Pantera was never known for their album covers anyway, so there was never
Not really.
you know. I think Vulgar may have been their best album cover as
I
far
think
as
so.
covers, but
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they ever thrived on saying, "Hey, we need a badass album cover." They didn't give
No.
a shit, man. They were like, "Hey, does that fit what we're doing? Fuck yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, yeah, and then the music definitely spoke for itself.
Well, yeah,
Absolutely,
that's what I'm saying. Like
absolutely.
they didn't have to use the that caught my eyes. And we talk about that a lot being in record stores. Like I got an Iron Maiden album I didn't even know existed because I was at a record store. And like,
Mm-hmm.
so what the hell is this? I've never
Yep.
seen this. And then I'll look it up, and it's worth some places are willing to give you twice what I gave for it. So, not saying I'm going to sell it, but I'm just saying you can.
The possibility is at least out there.
Possibilities out there, yeah.
Yeah.
So just thinking another 20 years, what it would be like, when you got more collectors not knowing about it. So,
Sure.
don't get me wrong. Hopefully, at some point in my old age, I'm just saying, hey, I need to pass this down because some metalhead needs to enjoy this as much as I did. So,
Absolutely.
my collection will probably be expensive. So
Yeah.
just note that. So,
Yeah.
because I'm still collecting every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and you definitely got to make sure that Contortion album stays safe.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Thanks again to Mark for all that. So
Yeah. All right, I guess we can get into hitting the road here. Actually, I got a couple of festival lineups to report on this week, so that's some
yeah,
good stuff. I mean, they actually finalized a couple, so we can talk about that. And then I got the one tour that I bought tickets for already. I was going to talk about.
right.
Other than that, I didn't have anything, but I know there was a lot going on this week, so I did see it.
Yeah, it was
See a little bit.
it was a decent amount.
But I'll kick it off here. Incarceration have announced their 2024 lineup with dozens of new additions, joining Chimera and Bad Omens. The full lineup for Incarceration is now as seen below here, which we get in here. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's a different one. Oh, that's Milwaukee Memphis. Never mind. we're good. I'm like, they're playing together. I'm like, wait a minute. That's a lot of fucking bands for one festival. Like, what's going on? All right. So anyway, the lineup for Incarceration 2024 is now as follows. Take deep breath is what it said here. So, so we got Shinedown, Godsmack, Breaking Benjamin, The Offspring, Bad Omens, Hellstorm, I Prevail, Chevelle, Parkway Drive, Dropkick Murphys, Killswitch Engage, Hollywood Undead, Seven Dust, Sleeping with Sirens, Skillet, Machine Head, Chimera, The Who, not WHO, the HU.
The Who, the HU.
Filter, Poison the Well, As I Lay Dying, Biohazard, Shadows Fall, From Ashes to New, Bad Wolves, Stabbing Westward, Holy Wars, Bless the Fall, Trust Company, After the Burial, El Nino, Afterlife, Upon a Burning Body, Uncured, Fit for a King, Cold, I See Stars, Flat Black, Devour the Day, Another Day Dawns, Chelsea Grin, Attack, Era, All Shall Perish, Veil of Maya, the Word Alive, Dark Divine, The Acacia Strain, Mushroom Head, Brain of Sacrifice, Peyton Perish, Light from Within, Kingdom Collapse, Light Monster Flame, Vampires Everywhere, Cultist Black, Crossbreed, Traders, Lions at the Gate, Unsaid Fate, Hunt the Dinosaur, American Dream Machine, Kingdom of Giants, 1056, The Behest of Serpents, Henan, Kill Streak, Windows 7, and Nailed It Shut MA. So there you go. That's your lineup for Incarceration this year. So,
There was one band name in there that I didn't even know was still around. You mentioned Trust Company. I didn't even know they were still around.
Yeah, Trust Me. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, been around for a minute. And then Autopsy, Gatecreeper, Morbicon among the 19 final bands added to the Milwaukee Metal Fest. With today's inclusion, the final data lineups for the 3-day event is as follows. Friday, May 17th, you're going to have Blind Guardian, Camelot, Symphony X, Autopsy doing their Severe Survival 35th anniversary set. Destruction, Marduk, Hammerfall, Incantation, Profanatica. Okay. Macabre, Havoc, Non-Slaughter. And that's rough. Eternal Champion.
Yeah, I know.
Check this bullshit out. Havoc, Non-Slaughter, Eternal Champion, and then Heathen. Havoc and Heathen on the same fucking day.
Oh, come on, man. We've been talking about that for how long have we been talking about Havoc and Heathen being on the same damn bill?
For a while. That's been
Son of a bitch.
That's been kind of a dream tour. We've talked.
I'm gonna say we made that happen. I don't give a shit.
We talked about existence.
We did.
We had Visigoth, UADA, Night Demon, Bewitcher, Lords of the Trident, Necrofire, Hell Witch, Backlash, Silva, Ancient Entities, Illusion of Fate, and Engineer Society Project. And then Saturday, May 18th, you got Mr. Bungle, Testament, Hatebreed, Municipal Waste, Catatonia, Death to All. They're doing the Sound of Perseverance set. Deicide, Possessed, Terrorizer doing their World Downfall 35th anniversary set. The Red Chord, Soylent Green, is a reunion.
That's people, you know.
Yeah. Skinless, Martyr AD, or Martyr AD, sorry.
Martyr AD, yeah.
Devourment, Internal Bleeding, Cenotaph, Belushi Speedball. Oh, wow, okay. Cloak, Morbicon, Death Ray Vision, Hatriot, Embryonic Autopsy, Eyes of the Living, and Time to Kill. So, our boys' Eyes of the Living are on Saturday. Sunday, May 19th is Slaughter to Prevail, Avatar, In Flames, I Am Morbid, doing their 35th anniversary of Altars of Madness, plus the hit set. Death to All, they're doing their Scream Bloody Gore, plus the hit set. Then we got Lacuna Coil, Gatecreeper, Paleface Swiss, Bleed from Within, Exhumed, It Dies Today, Alluvial, Skeletal Remains, Casket Robbery, Creeping Death, Bioaggression, Upon Stone, Stabbing, Errors of Humanity, Monochromatic Black, Dead by Wednesday, American Overdose, and Beyond Threshold. So that is Metal Sucks there. The first one was from Blabbermouth, that one was from Metal Sucks. So that is the Milwaukee Metal Fest full lineup, which, if you know, that's Jamie Justice from Hatebreeds. He kind of took that over. So it's kind of cool to see Casket Robbery on there, knowing that we've seen them just down in Chattanooga with 1,500 people, and they're probably going to be playing in front of a good 30,000 at least this week. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I had the Lamb of God and Mastodon. They announced a co-headlining anniversary tour with Kerry King and Malevolence opening Ashes of the Wake and Leviathan, depending on your dates, who's opening. I do know Kerry King is not opening for the day I'm going. So Malevolence will be there. Yeah, Malevolence will be there. I'm okay with it. I love those guys. So that's going to kick off on July 19th in Grand Prairie, Texas at the Texas Trust CU Theater, and then ends on 8/31 in Omaha, Nebraska at the Astro Amphitheater. Closest one to us is in Atlanta or Alpharetta, Georgia at the amphitheater. So I didn't write it down. I just remember being there. So.
Right.
I knew that's where it was at, and I didn't write it down.
Yeah. But before I get into my hitting the road, I want to give a shout out to another friend of the show. Demos's Dawn has been added to the bill for whacking this year. So,
oh hell yeah, nice.
Yeah, I saw that on. I think I saw them. Did I? No, I saw that on their Facebook, and then I saw it first on their Facebook, and then on their Instagram. So I sent them a congratulatory message for that. So that's cool for them. Yeah. Obviously, that bill has yet to be finalized, but I just wanted to give them a shout out and wanted to make sure we remember that I saw that. So,
and before you get into yours, I want to just throw this up here since we were talking about the Kerry King. There is the playlist, and that song is on that playlist. So
yeah,
and then you can carry on with your stuff, and then we'll do the other playlist when we get into the theme.
Yeah. All right. So hitting the road for the 3rd through the 9th, starting off at the PRP.com. Steel Panther is going on a spring U.S. tour with the openers yet to be announced, starting April 18th in Omaha, Nebraska at the Admiral Theater, finishing May 11th in Spartanburg, South Carolina at the Hall at Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium. They will be in Nashville on May 8th at Marathon Music Works. Kubla Khan, Texas, Harm's Way, Pain of Truth, and Justice for the Damned are going on a U.S. tour starting May 11th in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Underground, finishing May 26th in Dallas, Texas at the Factory at Deep Ellum. They will be in Nashville on May 22nd at Broken Bowl. Wayfarer, Sonia, and Valdrin are going on a North American tour starting March 29th in Denver, Colorado at the Bluebird Theater, finishing May 24th in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Cosmic Eye. Era Make Them Suffer, Void of Vision, and Novelists are going on a North American tour of their own. Starting April 23rd in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at TLA, finishing June 2nd in New York at the Irving Plaza. They will be in Nashville on April 26th at the Brooklyn Bowl. Death Clock, Dragon Force, and Necrogoblicon are going on a U.S. tour starting April 7th in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at the House of Blues, finishing May 3rd in Portland, Oregon at the Roseland Theater. Caspian and So I Watch You From Afar are going on a 20th anniversary tour. Both bands are celebrating that. Starting July 17th in Houston, Texas at the White Oak Music Hall, finishing August 3rd in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade. Nita Strauss, Diamante, and the Starbenders are going on a March U.S. tour starting March 12th in Worcester, Mass. at the Palladium, finishing March 29th in Leander, Texas at the Hote Spot. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Memphis at Growlers on March 24th. Comeback Kid and Spy are going on a Canadian tour starting March 20th in Halifax, Nova Scotia at the Seahorse Tavern, finishing April 11th in Vancouver, British Columbia at the Pearl. Turnstile is going on a European tour that is going to be consisting of mostly festival appearances, starting June 14th in Stockholm, Sweden at the Rosendal Festival, finishing June 28th in Oslo, Norway at the Tons of Rock Festival. Thy Art is Murder, Angel Maker, Signs of the Swarm, and Snuffed on Sight are going on a North American tour starting April 11th in Montreal, Quebec at L'Olympia, finishing May 11th in Sayreville, New Jersey at the Starland Ballroom. Testament has announced a European headlining tour with Havoc, Spirit World, Dustbolt, Behemoth, Silosis, Pestilence, and Gyrea appearing at select dates. And again, I missed, son of a bitch. Starting July 18th in Malmo, Sweden at the Slagthuset, and finishing in Sercu, France at Festival 666. I forgot to type the date in there, so that's twice in 2 weeks that I've done that. I don't know why. I gotta proofread my shit better. Death to All and Cryptopsy are going on a North American tour starting May 18th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Milwaukee Metal Fest. You just mentioned that one, finishing June 29th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Nile Theater. Bleeding Through has announced a couple of Pacific Northwest shows celebrating This Is Love, This Is Murderous 20th anniversary. March 29th in Seattle, Washington at El Corazon, and March 30th in Portland, Oregon at the Hawthorne Theater. Chelsea Wolfe is going to the UK and Ireland. No word on the openers as of yet. Starting October 25th in Dublin, Ireland at the Button Factory, finishing November 2nd in Bristol, England at the Marble Factory. So, and then over on Facebook, Angelus Apatrida and Hidden Intent have announced a Pacific Rim tour together, starting February 15th in Perth, Australia at the Amplifier Bar, finishing on Stone Cold Steve Austin Day in Seoul, South Korea at Club Victim. If you don't know what Stone Cold Steve Austin Day is, look it up.
That's right.
Then over at metalinjection.net, Morbicon and Early Moods are going out starting March 26th in Savannah, Georgia at Wormhole, finishing April 9th in Cudahy, Wisconsin at the X-Ray Arcade. The Ghost Inside, Paleface Swiss, Bleed From Within, and the Great American Ghost are going on a North American tour starting April 19th in Las Vegas at the House of Blues, finishing May 16th in Columbus, Ohio at Sonic Temple. The only Tennessee date is May 15th in Knoxville at the Mill and Mine. Then over at blabbermouth.net, Powerwolf and Unleash the Archers are going on a North American tour. That's one I would like to catch. Starting August 29th in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Palladium, finishing September 15th in Laval, Quebec at Bell Place. Then Therapy is going on a 30th anniversary tour for their Troublegum album, starting September 7th in Douglas, Isle of Man at the Villa Marina Promenade Suite, then finishing December 10th in Paris, France at Petit Bain. So that's all I have for Hitting the Road for the 3rd through the 3rd through the 9th.
Right. I guess that will lead us into our theme of the week.
Yay.
Last week's up here real quick first, and then this week's
Hell yeah.
there is last week's theme of the week, Lost and Found,
Mm-hmm.
from Spotify there. So, like Chris says all the time, if you just want to look for this little logo here in the corner, you can find all of our playlists there on Spotify. But
Yes, you can.
there's the link for last week's if you are caught up and you want to listen to that one or download that one for later or whatever you want to do. There it is. Yep. This week's theme of the week was push pull. I got the push segment of this, and I should have pushed myself out a window for doing that, but this one was a little rough, man. I got like a first 3 or 4, and I'm just like, I don't know where to go from here. So I kind of went off rails a little bit, but keeping it within pushing. So
Sure, that's fine.
I didn't think about that. I could have did something with labor since you're pushing.
Right. You could have. That's the thing I did. I mean, at some point, I just decided to go with synonyms and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah.
I didn't think about that one until just now. So
Well, there you go. You can add it.
Add it later, yeah. But started out with Static X Push It, of course, from Wisconsin Death Trip 1999. Then I went back a little ways to Jackal Push Comes to Shove from the same name album in 1994. Nice. Then I went with Dio Push from Killing the Dragon 2002. Then with Halloween Push from Better Than Raw 2006. Then went back even further to 1986 to pull Cinderella's Push Push off of Night Songs.
Nice.
Then I went with Mudvayne Pushing Through from Lost and Found 2005. That segue from last week. Like that. Mm-hmm. Then I went with Terra Push It Away from Lowest of the Low 2003. And then I went with the Callous Dial Boys Pushing the Pink Envelope. That was a single they put out last year. So I was like, yeah, we'll go
nice.
With it. Then Cataclysm Pushed the Venom from Heaven's Venom 2010. And then went with the Metal Alliance, The Final Push from Forged by Steel 2017. Then with Tetrarch, Pushed Down from Unstable 2021. Then I went with Mastodon Pushing the Tides from Hushed and Grim 2021. I went Exodus Throwing Down, which is same thing as being pushed, I guess. Uh, Tempo of the Dam, 2004. Then I went with Throwdown, the band. Went with
Oh,
Burn,
okay.
the Vendetta album, 2005. And then I did this one because I think it says it enough times in the song that it should just be named this. But I went with Slipknot's Duality, volume 3, the Subliminal Verses, 2004, because push your fingers into your eyes. Man.
I get the correlation.
It says it like 50 times. Come on. Um,
Yep.
but that was kind of the one I kind of like went off the reservation a little bit with. And then I found this one. This was a band I did not know about. It's the band's called Encrypt. The song's called Push Beyond Breaking. It's from a Thrashing Extinction 2022 album. So
Nice.
I'm definitely looking into probably checking out some more of that. I didn't even that's 2 years ago, and we've been through 400 albums since then. So
Right.
did I listen to it? Fuck if I know. So
Maybe, maybe not. We have no idea.
yeah, maybe I did. I have no clue. So that was my contributions there to the theme of the week this week. So.
All right. As Jason alluded to, we were doing push pull, and I actually ended up with pull. I got all the way up to 15, but like I say, I started using some synonyms, but I mean they all work. So first, and this one I was like this one I was a little hesitant, but I went with Push Pull Destroy by Battlecross off of the album of the same name from 2010. Then I had Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Martyr by Trivium off Ascendancy from 2005. Then I had Pull Me Under by Dream Theater off of Images and Words from 1992. Then I had Pull the Trigger from our friends at Eyes of the Living off of War on Dead, More Dead from 2019. Then I had Pull the Plug by Death off of Leprosy from back in 1988. Then I had Pull Me From the Void, also by Trivium, off Silence in the Snow from 2015. Then I had Straws Pulled at Random by Meshuggah off of Nothing from 2002. Then I had Tug of War by Angelus Apatrida off of Hidden Evolution from 2015. Then I had The Undertow by Lamb of God off Resolution from 2012. Then I had Hung, Drawn, and Quartered, drawn being the key word there, off of Accept, by Accept off of Stalingrad, Brothers in Death from 2012. Then I had Vortex by Megadeth off Cryptic Writings from 1997. I had Black Hole by Hidden Intent off Walking Through Hell from 2013. Then I had The Rip and Tear by Overkill off of From the Underground and Below from 1997. Then I had Human Strain by Slayer off World Painted Blood from 2009. And last but not least, this is technically both Strain versus Resistance by Fear Factory off Digimortal from 2001.
Then I'm going to add a Pull song already. So
nice.
You said Pull the Trigger, didn't remind me. Tetrarch has a song called Pull the Trigger.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah.
Freak album in 2017. So.
Cool. So I already have my half done. I'm going to send it to Jason here in just a minute so he can add his part, and then we'll get it compiled and posted by the end of the weekend for you guys over for everybody on Spotify, but the members of the group, like we've said before, have the option to add songs for up to 7 days. So one of the perks of being a member of the private Facebook group. So
yes, it is. All right, so that will lead us into our album reviews of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I went with a band called All This Filth. The album is Tomorrow Will Be Better, ? So it's like Tomorrow Will Be Better.
Like maybe? I don't know. Maybe.
Probably not, but but anyway, they are this is a thrash death groove metal band, so they're a little bit diverse there.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there.
They were formed in 2008 in Perth, Australia. So there you go. Another
nice
thrash band. I don't know if like Hidden Intent named off some bands I wrote down somewhere. I was almost wondering if they were on that because I bet they were. They are currently on the Brutal Records label. So there you go. Their current members are Benny Bones on keyboard and bass, Brendan Preston on vocals, Garrett Stanford on drums, Brock Smith on guitars, and Lenny O'Neill on guitars. And check this out. The vocalist is the only original member in this band. All other 4 members just joined last year.
Whoa. Holy shit. Talk about some turnover. Jesus.
He did a whole revamp, man. Like, But kind of curious of what the other stuff sounds like then, because
Right.
maybe he changed the whole sound now or something. I don't know. Definitely worth. He's got 2 other albums, so I'll probably definitely check those out to see. Um, this is the band's third full length album, as I mentioned. 11 songs, 46 minutes, 31 seconds. So the first song is a bit repetitive. And honestly, it's uh, pretty much what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. He says that a lot in this song.
Oh, see, that can get boring.
But I mean, he does have other lyrics in it. But I mean, it's kind of what the Dead Men Say, kind of all over again. So with
Oh, I got
so
you.
yeah, so it's kind of a repetitive in there, but it's still a great "fuck you" anthem that Jamie Josta would be proud of. So I mean, whatever.
Okay. And Jamie Josta is proud of his "fuck you" anthems, by the way.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And there are some great ones.
He
So
really is.
he definitely knows how to put a "fuck you" anthem together. So.
He does.
But definitely a mix up of sounds. So, being, like I said, thrash, I don't really hear a lot of death in there. I don't know where they kind of got that from, but the groove metal definitely could hear some of that. Of course, I love the thrashy sounds. That's kind of, our go to. So
His
it's
bread and butter. Yep.
it was kind of I never knew this band was a thrash band until I pulled it up. So, it's kind of a good, surprise, I guess. So, some real solid drumming on this, and guitars were nicely done with the rhythm changes in some of the songs. So, it was kind of a little roller coaster, and they were changing it up really, really well to keep you kind of, sometimes you'll hear those, and it's kind of like, I don't know if that worked, but with this, they did it just enough, just perfect enough to where it worked. So, good job there. So, um, vocally is definitely what you would expect from a thrash vocalist, but Brandon does have some range with in those parts. When he was able to kind of hit some higher stuff, they were really placed perfectly within the song, I think. So, like I said, I listened to this 3 times a day, so I was kind of I was able to tear it apart pretty good. So, but instrumentally, they was just ripping it up all the way through this thing. There wasn't no breaks in here. So if you're looking for a ballad or something, then you can kind of move on because it's not on this one. So, giving this one an easy 4 horns.
Very nice. All right. My album review this week, and like I said, I only got through the one, but I did listen to it twice. I listened to the new album from FKU, which, according to their Encyclopedia Metallum profile, stands for Freddy Krueger's Underwear.
Oh
And yeah,
yeah.
and their album, The Horror and the Metal. They are a thrash metal band formed in Uppsala, Sweden in 1987. But interestingly enough, they were basically together. They formed in 1987. They were together for a year and then had a hiatus and didn't release their first album until 1999. So kind of interesting. Not exactly sure what that's all about, but this is their lyrical themes are moshing, horror, and humor. So
You know how to find out what that was all about, right?
I do, and I might. I absolutely do. This is their this is their 6th full length album. Like I say, their debut album, Metal Moshing Mad, came out in 1999, leading up to The Horror and the Metal came out today. They are a quartet featuring Pat Splat on bass and backing vocals. He is one of the original members. Then you have Pete Stuall, who is on guitar and backing vocals. He is the other original member. Then you have Larry Lethal on lead vocals. He joined the band after the hiatus in 1997. And the Unspeakable Emp on drums, who showed up in 2016. Let's see. So that's the quartet. The new album is 10 tracks long, 35 minutes and 38 seconds, and this was an insanely easy album to listen to. I'm just gonna say it was fucking fantastic. Every every song was amazing. It was balls to the wall, fat. It was extremely up tempo from the opening scream to the title track which was the first track on the album. The opening scream, I mean, it just like holy shit. It almost reminded me. It almost that the opening to that Slayer song that everybody knows. Everyone knows that Slayer song, and it was almost like that. It was almost like that meme-worthy Slayer scream. Hey, you can't hear, you can't see sound, and then there's a picture of Tom Araya, and the meme's like, oh, never mind, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was almost like that, just the very, very opening of the album, and Larry Lethal, man, he's like just like the lead singer of your album. This guy's got range. He's got some high end. He's got some low end. He's got some gutturals he throws in there, not lyrically, but he'll give a nice deep growl every now and then, but he'll give a nice high pitched wail every now and then. He changes up the pitch and the key of his voice a lot. There's a couple times where he throws a little. There are thrash metal. There are vibes all in this album. There's Slayer vibes. There's Exodus vibes. There's Testament vibes. I mean, he'll sprinkle in a little bit of Steve Zetro Souza in there. He'll sprinkle a little Chuck Billy in there, and then he's got his own sound that he sticks to. I mean, but like I say, it's it's just straight fucking forward ahead, and I enjoyed every song. And I mean, you've got songs about metal, you got songs about the Antichrist, you got songs about not having to go to Texas for some reason. Then you got songs about aliens, you got songs about the dead, you got two songs specifically talking about how good metal is, and it is. Then you've got you got a song at the very, very end talking about zombies. So I mean, you got a little bit of everything as far as subject matter. I'm giving this album 4 horns. I wanted to rate it.
You wanted to do 4.5?
I wanted to do at least 4.5. The only reason why I didn't, as good as this album is, as much as I liked every song, there is not one fucking guitar solo on this album. How the fuck do you not put a guitar solo? Not one on this album. I'm so bummed.
They've been talking to Marty Friedman, man.
I am so bummed out that there is no guitar solos on this album. If there were guitar solos on this album, I am telling you right now, this would be a borderline 5-horn album.
Nice.
I enjoyed this even without the guitar solos. I loved this album so much. It was so goddamn good. But I was like, tell me you're going to give me a solo at some point. I got to the end. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Not even one. Not even one. How do you do that? I mean, especially in thrash metal, how do you do that? They're a staple. They are a staple. I know it's not like a law or a rule, but of thrash metal, it is a staple. Oh God, it just left me. I just felt not completely, because like I say, I love the album. There was just something missing. I was like, oh, and there were no solos. Because the funny thing is there were like leads. Okay, you're leading me somewhere, and then nothing. Like, what the fuck? So I wanted to give this album higher than 4 horns, but how do you not have guitar solos? But that being said, it's so good. It's so good. 4 horns out of 5, no question.
Yeah, I actually put the horror and the metal song on the playlist, and that's the only one I've heard so far. But it was pretty good.
It's good.
Definitely, I'll definitely have to check out the rest of the album there. So.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got for next week?
Yeah, looking ahead to February 16th. Doesn't look like, never mind. I was going to say doesn't look, never mind. Let me recant that statement before I even make it. All right.
Hefty, isn't it? So.
Yeah. All right. Leading off with Acrid Death, The Abominable Presence of Blight. We have The Aristocrats with Duck. We have Art of Anarchy with Let There Be Anarchy. We have Barren Womb with Chemical Tardigrade. We have Black Hate with Via Purgativa. We have Blossom with Maybe in Another Life. We have Bokassa with All Out of Dreams. We have Cercenatory with Gore Sphere. We have Coulter with to watch with hands, to touch with eyes. We have Contortion, not that contortion, with the common thread. We have Crazy Licks with 2 shots at glory. Dark Space with 2, minus 2, actually, sorry. Dead Earth with et Desperdum Illude. Dematerialize with the Abyss Below. A Doll's House with Annuum. The Dude with
Okay.
Superfuge. So there we go. The Dude's got a new album coming out. That'll be cool. I'm surprised Dana didn't tell us
I
about
didn't
that.
even tell us that. Man.
No, he didn't even tell us about that.
Slacking on his job.
I'm telling you what, man. Gonna have to give him a piece of our minds. Durbin with Screaming Steel. Einar Solberg with the Congregation Acoustic. Electrocharge with Reign of Deception. Electrostorm with Power. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I was reading too far ahead. Electrostorm with Power Lords. Eternal Storm with A Giant Bound to Fall.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was the same band too for a minute. I was like,
I
man,
did too. I did too. I
I'm
was
trying
reading too.
to see if there's anything that jumps out at me. So,
Yeah, I was reading too far ahead. That's on me. Then we have Inomia with Break Free. That's a re-release. We have Far Beyond with The End of My Road. Farsot with Life Promises Death. We have Fieri with Words All We Have. Forfeit the Untrue with Gather the Broken. That's an EP. Garden of Stone with Tides of Decay. That's an EP. We have Griffon with De Republica. We have Grin with Hush. Groove Therapist with Monologue. The Helicopters with Grand Rock. That's a re-release. Hilltops Are for Dreamers with The Tragedy of Being Human. That's an EP. We have Horrible with Filth. Honeymoon Suite with Alive. Illumishade with Another Side of You. We have Eson with a self-titled album. In Autumn with What's Done Is Done. Jeremy Harry Harris with Walking with My Darkness. We have K Mono with Mind Out of Mind. Laura Jane Grace with Hole in My Head. Leah with The Glory and the Fallen. Lord of the Lost with Swan Songs. That's a re-release. Memento Mori with a self-titled EP. Monovoth with Pleroma Mortem Est. Mr. Bison with Echoes from the Universe. Naga Siren with Sea of Myself. Nefarious Mash with In Memory of Your Hopes. Neil Howell with The Renaissance is Over. Not of This World with I Am With You. The Obsessed with Gilded Sorrow. We have Pestilength with Solar Chlorex. We have Ponte del Diavolo with Fireblades from the Tomb. Praise the Plague with Suffocating in the Current of Time. Profiler with A Digital Nowhere. Ray Hawthorne with Heartbreak Feels Good in a Place Like This. That's an EP. The fucking title is probably longer than the EP. The Requiem with A Cure to Poison the World. Rick Wakeman with Live at the London Palladium 2023. Samael with Passage. That's a live album. The Scream with Welcome. See You Next Tuesday with Relapses. Slayer Show No Mercy. That's a vinyl re-release. A Somerset Parade with Carcosa. Stellar Remains with Wastelands. That's an EP. Steve Hackett with The Circus and the Night Whale. We have Sujin with Save Our Souls. Sundrifter with An Earlier Time. Son of Nothing with Maze. The Swaggerlies with Undoing. That's an EP. Thy Shining Curse with Theurgia. Toxicol with Under the Southern Light. Tutu Patu with 4. UKC with Love and Hate Diaries. Veneer with Epitome. Valacrine with Etna. And Witcherus with a self-titled album. So that's the release list for the 16th, next Friday.
it's like, I was just trying to look ahead a little bit, and I was like, man, there really hasn't been any big bands releasing anything yet. That's coming.
It's coming.
Looks like next week's the week after actually is going to start that. So
It's coming.
man, I was just looking ahead a little bit. And I was like,
yeah, Ace Frehley, Amaranthi, Anubis, Austrian Death Machine, Borknagar. What else we got? And this is just the 23rd. I'm not even going through the whole thing. Ectomorph.
Darkest Hour.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Iron Curtain, Job for a Cowboy, Carcosa. Yeah, I mean it's gonna start picking up, that's for sure. That's good though. Looking forward to it. Of course, I mean we look forward to it every week, but I mean it's also but we also know the amount of the big name albums that are just gonna just hit. I think this summer is gonna be insane.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be unreal. I mean, it's either gonna start in March with Bruce Dickinson will be out.
Yep.
All that kind of just to start the into all the new ministry will be out then too. So, okay, yeah. So you're starting to get into you're starting to get into the bigger bands, yeah. So
Yeah. Hopium for the masses, that new ministry. Yeah.
a lot of stuff to look forward to
Yes.
already. Just barely into we're barely scraping February right now.
Yeah.
So, and uh, and we're have an extra day this month. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. It is leap year this year. You're right.
That's it. All right. Well, that will wrap everything up, I guess, for this week. So
Yeah.
hopefully, we'll get some news about how Pantera went. I'm sure. So,
Oh yeah. We'll have to touch base with Dana, see how it went.
and as always, if you see scrolling at the bottom here, you can visit the merch store at www.metalheadsuniteusa.com. And I did order a coffee, travel coffee mug from there because I always got it work, and I'm just like, man, I'll just rather use something that's going to keep my stuff hot longer.
There you
So,
go.
so I was like, man, just order it from there, see what it looks like. So, once I get it, I'll show it on here.
Mhm.
Give everybody a kind of a visual of what they're getting when they go to these shops and buy anything. So,
Yep.
I know the T-shirts and stuff aren't going to be like the ones we have because I had those specially made. Just they don't do. I don't know if they do front and back. I didn't see any option for that. Maybe they do. I can look into that. But like I said, with the website coming up and me trying to get screen printing, I'm just kind of holding off. And
We're
also,
gonna
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, we're gonna make the shirts the way we want them made.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want you going on to a website paying $20 for a shirt and then it doesn't come out the way you expect. You think
Right.
it should. Because I got one and I didn't like the. I guess my expectations may be higher too, but I don't know. It just didn't. I just didn't care for it. So I'm
Yep.
just like, yeah, I can't ask people to go and pay $20 for something I'm not really happy with.
Hell no.
And also there you see scrolling at stream.trulyradio247.com/8006/stream. That is the stream to our 24-hour radio station 7 days a week. And there are I do upload stuff there every week, so there's always new stuff going in on there. So uh,
That's
check
right.
that. I usually post a little hint of what's been going
Mhm.
on sometimes. So it's
Yeah.
like some of that sometimes it's just unreal. I'm just like, damn, did I just really listen to like this many songs in a row? That's so fucking killer. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I did.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
I
cool.
I actually like that you do that because, like you say, it just gives a little bit of a snapshot of what we've got on the
Right.
radio station. And the funny thing is every week with what we review, with what we put on our playlist, whether it be the new release playlist or the theme of the week, we are constantly adding shit. We are constantly adding stuff every week, however often. It's on a weekly basis at minimum
Oh
that
yeah.
new stuff is getting added. So you're talking probably. I mean, this week's playlist is going to be in upwards of 30 songs. The new release playlist is in upwards of 30 songs. So you're talking anywhere from 40 to 60 new songs added to the radio station every week. Speaking of which, if you have a song that you want to get put on the radio station, send us an email at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com. Send us a request. We'll get it added to the queue. And then, as always, follow us on our socials, like we've always said. Facebook page and Facebook group. That's us right there. The Facebook group is members only. You don't get a jacket, but you will get, we should get Metalheads Unite members only jackets. That'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But send us a membership request. We'll get you guys hooked up. We've had a little bit of we've probably had a couple dozen new members added over the last week and a half, which has been nice. So,
Nice. Yeah. And actually, I've seen Dana hitting a lot of people up with Metal and Test, so I'll probably reach out over there too a little, since I haven't done that in a minute.
Yeah.
Try to get some of those newer members over to see what we do too. So
yeah, so we want to welcome all the new members and thank everybody who else has been a member. Don't want to forget about you guys.
actually, one of those members was a band, so that's always cool too.
That was cool. And then follow us on all of our social media. Follow us on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Rumble. Follow us on Twitch, on X, on Instagram, and on TikTok.
Everywhere.
We're working. We're working on it. We are working on it.
We'll get to be everywhere at some point, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, we will.
I want to thank you guys for stopping in. Hopefully, we will see you back here next week. And then we will, hopefully, we're going to try to put some bands together. I know I've been busy around here. I ain't really had time to reach out with everything going on at the home life here. So
Yeah, I gotta.
I got to get back on target with that stuff. So
Yeah, I gotta do a little bit better of a job of picking up that baton when it kind of hits the dirt too. So gonna send out something to cast a few lines out myself. So
like I said, we don't get bites if you don't cast them. So
that's true. That is very true.
that's what a fisherman says. Anyway, I don't know.
And they all lie. Who's this big? Who's this big?
Right. We know those.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, anyway, thanks you guys again for stopping in. Go hook yourself up with membership to the group so you can keep up with everything.
That's right.
That's where it's mostly at. So on the Facebook group,
It is.
We do other stuff in other places, but that's the main thing there. Where kind of everybody's involved, not just us.
Right.
That's
Yep,
the thing.
that's
It's
true.
like a lot of stuff we missed, and other people kind of like, "Hey, did you see this?" Like, "Oh yeah, okay." So,
And see that's the thing. That's what we love about it. It's not,
right.
people, people like Shelly and my cousin Steve and my buddy Andy, they'll throw some stuff in there. Dana updates us on some stuff. So, that's what it is. I mean, because like we said before, we can't cover everything. We try to do the best we can, but then we've got our friends to help us out.
And then of course Dana takes from us and puts on his stuff too. So I mean, that's
Sure.
it's a give and take.
It is
Relationship.
a collaborative effort.
Right. There you go. So, we also want to give a shout out to Victor over at Hard and Heavy that him and
Him and Rosemary. Yep. They've been
good
like
job over here. So
yep, they've been posting videos this week. They've been a little bit busier, so that's good to see.
yeah, good to see you. I was kind of I hadn't hit Victor up to see how everything was going with him because I hadn't heard from him in a while, but I might need to do that too. So.
Yeah, we should touch base.
All right, guys. Thank you for stopping in. Hopefully, we'll see you back here next week. Same time, same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right.
In the meantime, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you very much.